If you need to see what's making noises in the night, having a pair of night vision goggles like those used by the military will definitely let you see in absolute darkness. They also cost about $14,000. If you're like me and you don't have a rich uncle to buy your gear, finding an option that will still let you see in the dark but not cost you a small fortune is something worth looking at. The StealthCam DNVB digital night vision binoculars provide decent night vision capability out to about 300 feet in the dark and even work in daylight as binoculars that let you see objects about 400 yards out in the daylight. In the past, if you used these types of night vision binoculars in daylight, you had to place a cap with a special filter over the lens, but this newer version no longer needs to be capped in the daytime. The documentation on these is a bit slim as the instruction manual is pretty basic, and it contradicts the information on their website, which I'm pretty sure is for a different product. As for the specs, the manual was missing a lot of information. No worries though, as I did all of the testing to find out how they perform. They have an included camera, but the resolution isn't that great. You won't be making any Academy Award-winning movies with these. The video resolution is 640 by 480, which is pretty low. You can't even read license plates taken from 100 yards in broad daylight with these. The still camera has a 1.3 megapixel resolution, which again is pretty low. But this isn't meant to replace your normal camera in daylight, but just to let you snap a quick picture for reference. But don't try to shoot anything moving, as there's a perceptible delay between when you press the button and when it takes the photo. The 20mm front lens rotates to adjust focus and has an aperture of f1.4. The binoculars don't work like normal binos, but instead have a small 1.5-inch electronic viewfinder screen inside a magnified housing. The TFT screen is decent quality. This means the device is first and foremost a digital camera and doesn't use a series of lenses to magnify. And it says it comes with a 3-time optical zoom and a 3-time digital zoom for a total of 9 times magnification. But there is no optical zoom, so all you get is the 3 times magnification from the digital zoom. That would be good enough if the resolution were a bit higher. You can't zoom down, only up. When you get to 3x, you hit the zoom button again and it returns you back to 1x. But it does allow you to incrementally zoom, so you aren't stuck at 1x, 2x, or 3x, but you can zoom to 2.4 and so on. The unit is covered in a rubberized coating for a good grip in the early dew. It weighs 1 pound, 4 ounces with the 6 AA batteries that it takes to run it. The battery life is okay, and it lasted me about 3 days of on and off use, but I can't tell you how long they will run continuously. I suggest turning them off when not in use, as the startup on them is pretty quick. The button controls can all be accessed with a single finger, and the layout is pretty intuitive. The IR illuminator contains 850 infrared LEDs, and it comes with 7 levels of brightness and off. The LEDs are not stealthy at all, and the illuminator glows a bright red when you use it, so don't think that you're going to sneak up on anyone in the dark. One feature I really like is the single eye cup that comfortably shields both eyes, as opposed to dual fixed eye cups that you can adjust as in their previous version. The padded neck strap also makes them comfortable for a long night of song dog glassing. They also have a standard tripod attachment screw connection on the bottom if you prefer to go hands-free. Some main areas where the website and the actual product vary, other than the 9-time zoom that's actually only 3 times, is that the website says you can adjust the frame rate of the camera, and that's not accurate. These film in 30 frames per second, and that is it. Another is that the website says you can see 400 feet in the dark, and then their packaging says 220 yards, which is 660 feet. I was really only able to make out anything at around 100 yards with any detail. It also says it will accept SD cards up to 32 gig, but I used a 64 with no problem, albeit I was using a high-speed professional quality card that we use in our cameras. The website also states that they use 4 AA batteries and they actually use 6. I think the website's really describing a different product. Aside from the obvious differences in documentation, the DNVBs did a decent job of illuminating objects in the dark. There was sufficient detail up close to let you navigate if you use them in single power mode, and they also picked up decent detail within that 100-yard zone. And they did all of that for a lot less than my Uncle Sam's pricey gear, by about $13 3/4 less. The StealthCam DNVB digital night vision binoculars are available at your local Sportsman's Warehouse store optics counter, or you can check them out online at sportsmans.com. Just ignore the specs that were copied over from StealthCam.